And surprise, surprise, it's day number 9 for our Wake Up and Win 30-day challenge. Come on in. We are talking tonight about winning in relationships. Winning in relationships is day number 9. Some of you all may be watching this as a replay a little later, and that's okay. So, as we have been upon this journey of winning in every area of our life, many times we invest time, energy, and effort to win in our career, to win in money, to win in our health. But do we really take the time to invest energy, to invest prayer in winning in our relationships? So tonight's topic, of course, is day number 9, winning in relationships. So of course, I have a opening scripture for you to consider. The sound that you're hearing in the background is Donald Lawrence and Company featuring Layla Hathaway, and the song is entitled Ultimate Relationship. And we want to focus on winning in all of our relationships on tonight. So here's your opening scripture found in First Peter chapter 4, verse number 8. Above all, love each other deeply, because love covers a multitude of sin. Love each other deeply. If we're going to win in our relationships, listen, relationships takes work, and relationships is hard work. And baby, it is not for the faint or the meek, child. Well, if you're going to win in relationships, it definitely takes some intentional work and effort. So here's my quote for you to consider on tonight. The quality of your relationships determine the quality of your life. Do you believe that? The quality of your relationships determine the quality of your life. So it's important that we invest in love, that we invest in respect, that we invest in communication in order to win in our connections with others. Now, I'm not talking about just intimate partner relationships, but your relationships with your children, your relationships with your family. You know, in this day and time, we have so many siblings who are at each other's throat, and, constant rivalry, relationships with your coworkers. So the first relationship we have to ultimately consider is our relationship with ourselves. So if we have no idea who we are, what we like, what we enjoy, it makes it very difficult to be in a relationship with you. So if you're not able to relate to yourself, it's probably going to be doggone near impossible to relate to others. So if we're going to win in relationship, we have to consider a few things. So here's a few things for you to ponder on tonight as we're discussing winning in relationships. Healthy relationships are the foundation of a fulfilling life, whether it's family, whether it's friendship or romantic partnerships. Winning in relationships means being intentional. Somebody say that with me. Intentional. If you're going to win in relationships, you must be intentional in the way that you show love, the way that you communicate with each other honestly in a graceful manner. Strong relationships that are winning relationships require time, require effort, and commitment. There must be a commitment to grow together. Listen, a relationship, it takes two to make a thing go right, baby. Listen, you cannot be in a winning relationship by yourself. If you are investing time, energy, and effort, but the person that you're seeking to relate with, they're not willing to make that investment as well, then it's not going to be mutually beneficial, and it's going to be one-sided. So our quote for today: the quality of your relationship determines the quality of your life. So if you're going to be in a relationship that's winning, you have to be willing to make some investments. So 1 Peter 4:8 says, above all, love each other deeply. But listen, can we just be honest? You can't make nobody love you if you don't. Listen, I forgot who sang that song, baby, but don't judge me, judge yourself. But the songwriter just says, I can't make you love me if you don't listen. You can't buy love. You can't make somebody love you if they don't. So you have to know, like Kenny Rogers says, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. And just because one relationship didn't work out, there is life after love and what used to be happiness. Listen, because sometimes what started off as a little house on a prairie could very well end up a nightmare on Elm Street, but that doesn't mean that you can't still win in love, that you can't win in happiness, you can't win in life and win in relationships. So here's my 4 little nuggets for you to ponder on, and then I'm gonna get on out the way. Number 1, how can you be more present in your relationships? So again, that's platonic relationships, friendships, courtships, boo-ships, what entanglements, whatever, baby. Ain't no judgment here. Whatever you got going on, it's your business, baby. But if you're going to win in those relationships, how can you be more present? Are you willing to take time to listen? Are you willing to take time to be more engaged, to support each other, and to support the people in your life with your full attention? In this day and time, you can go to restaurants. People are not giving each other their full attention because they're on the phone, they texting, they scrolling, they doing this, that, and the third. So if we're going to build winning relationships, are you willing to commit to be more present? Number 2, are you communicating openly and honestly? Many times in relationships that maybe not be winning and rendering the dividends that you would like is because there's a lack of communication, or there's a disruption in the way that you're communicating. Maybe the words that's coming out of your mouth is not the words that they heard, or maybe there was a miscommunication, or something that was being communicated was transcribed and interpreted into the heart and mind of the listener in a way that you didn't intend. So if you're going to build winning relationships, we must be willing to communicate honestly and openly. Shutting down is not the key to win in relationships. You may need to take time to process. You may need to take time to think some things through before you open up your mouth. Because let me tell you something, loose lips will sink ships, baby. So you got to be mindful of what you are speaking if you're going to develop winning relationships. So my second point is about communicating honestly and openly. So reflect on conversations that you have had, or maybe conversations that you would like to have with your loved one, with your friends, family, so on and so forth. Are you expressing your needs? Are you listening to theirs? So one of the toxic things that oftentimes happen in relationships, that we are silent and that we're not communicating what disrupts our peace. We're not communicating the things that maybe doesn't set well with us. And then you just suck it up, buttercup. And then you just sitting here, feeling like you're feeling and not communicating that. And the other person cannot read your mind. Listen, no, they cannot read your mind. So if you're going to develop winning relationships, you have to be willing to step to the plate and have some hard conversations and communicate honestly and openly with respect. There's no need to be disrespectful, to degrade, or anything like that if you're going to have winning relationships. Because one of the ways that you can really have a lose-lose relationship when we become disrespectful or people get offended. Number 3, what small actions can you take today to strengthen your connections? If it's a kind word, if it's a thoughtful gesture, if it's a moment of gratitude, those small things can go a long way. Listen, I told somebody on today, it may not be equal giving, but certainly it should be equal sacrifice. So it could be the small things, just the small things, the sweet nothings. If it was a note, if it was just showing acts of kindness, appreciation. Gary Chapman has that book, The 5 Love Languages. So when you're building winning relationships, it's important to know your significant other, your partner, your friends, your family. You know what their love language is, how they communicate love, how they interpret love, because sometimes the way in which others demonstrate love may not be the way in which they receive love. So it's important to take the time and pay attention to those small actions, those small things that could strengthen your connection and your bond. Make sense? Winning relationships, you also got to consider chemistry and compatibility. Because listen, Some things just don't fit. And if it don't fit, you must have quit. Are y'all hearing me? So chemistry and compatibility is important when you're considering building a winning relationship. So whether you're happily married, whether you're happily divorced, or whether you single and satisfied, whatever your status is in your intimate partner relationship, this is content and information that can help you win in relationships across the board. Are y'all hearing me? Because it's going to take you being present in your relationships on your job, you being open and honest in your communication, with communicating with your coworkers, with your staff, with your team. It takes small acts of kindness to strengthen those connections and those bonds. And then number 4, point to ponder. How are you nurturing your relationship with yourself? How are you nurturing yourself? Remember, the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself. And self-care and self-love is essential for winning relationships. Are y'all hearing me? So hopefully this little content, this little broadcast is helping somebody to establish some winning relationships. So here is my final thought for today. Let me put it on the screen because I want y'all to see it. So my final thought for today is this: winning in relationships isn't about perfection. It's about love. It's about growth. It's about understanding and continuing to nurture the bonds in your life, nurture the connections in your life, and you will win in ways that matter most. Are y'all hearing me? Because some stuff don't matter, but then there are things that does matter, and we can't overlook those things. The small foxes is what spoils the vine. So again, this has been day 9. Continue to nurture your relationships. Take those things into consideration as you're developing winning relationship, because we want to win-win. We don't want to just be a win-win for one person, but we want it to be a win for everybody. This has been day number 9 of the Wake Up and Win 30-day challenge. I'm Dr. Kendra Davis. And of course, you can get my new book, The Wake Up and Win, the Winner's Workbook, which is a 90-day workbook that talks about winning in so many different areas of your life. You can go to drkendra.org to obtain your copy of this amazing workbook. It's available for YOU. So tune in on tomorrow. You never know what time I'm going to pop up and to pop in, but you better know it's going to be before the clock strikes 12, sugar, that I'm going to give you a little winning nugget each and every day that ends in Y. So I definitely am one that believes that your word is your bond. So say what you mean and mean what you say, because that helps us all to keep winning. I'm Dr. Kendra Davis. Y'all have a good night. It's been day number 9, and this is your Wake Up and Win 30-day challenge. See y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.